Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome back to our channel Islamic Vision. We are going to start new chapter, that is the cell cycle. As we know, the most basic characteristics of life is reproduction, and it occurs at different levels of organization, as we have already discussed all the levels from basic to complex system. All levels of organization we have already discussed that. And if we recall the chapter number 1, we remember a statement that was given by Rudolf Virchow and in the biological principle that all cells come from the cell. This principle tells us that continuation of life, including all aspects of reproduction, is based on reproduction of cells. And we commonly refer cellular reproduction as cell division, and it is the part of the whole life of a cell, that is the cell cycle. So basically here the question arises, what is cell cycle? Cell cycle is the series of events from the time a cell is produced until it completes and produces a new cells. Cell cycle consists of two major phases, that is the interphase and the mitotic phase. It alternates with the much longer interphase where the cell prepares itself for division. Interphase is a time when a cell's metabolic activity is very high. As it performs its various functions, it is divided into three phases. G1 phase, that is the first gap phase, S is the synthesis, and G2 is the second gap phase. And we know that we start life as a single cell to grow, develop, and repair tissue damage. For this, we rely on the cell division in cell division. And in eukaryotic system, this process is accomplished by a series of steps that are known as the mitosis. So as we know, there are two main phases, interphase and the mitotic phase, and interphase is a much longer phase as it consists of the three phases G1, S and G2 phases. Let us discuss one by one. In G1 or the gap phase, all the organelles and cytoplasmic components including centrioles replicate. And the second second phase, that is the S phase, also known as the synthesis phase. In this phase, DNA replication occurs. DNA duplication occurs. And finally, during the G2, that is the gap phase, all the enzymes needed to aid the process of cell division are produced in the G2 phase. After the G2 phase of the interphase, cell enters the division phase, that is the M phase, and it is characterized by the mitosis, in which cell divides into two daughter cells. There is also a phase, that is the G0 phase, that is the permanent stoppage of the cells, that is the basically cells remain in the G0 phase, stop to divide for indefinite period, for example the neuron cells. Some of the cells of the liver and kidney also remain in G0 phase. They never divide. In many cells that do not enter the G0 phase and they continue to divide throughout the organism's life cells are the epithelial cells. So here all the cell cycle events comes to an end. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.